up, everybody? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to this episode of the Sharpe Reality. You can follow me on Twitter, at Donovan_Sharpe. You can also find all my podcast episodes on thesharpereality.com, as well as my YouTube channel and iTunes. ReturnToKings.com is where you can also find my weekly column. I write about all things Red Pill, from females to finances to fitness. I also have a Red Pill Sports podcast that I've just started, which you can find at redpillsports.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Red Pill Sports. Also, this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, tune into my first live episode of the Sharpe Reality Live. I'll be joined by special guest Illimitable Man from illimitablemen.com, who, for my money, is one of the most brilliant Red Pill writers on the web. The way this guy breaks stuff down it's really unlike anything I've ever read. So I'm very much looking forward to talking to him and bringing him to you guys. So be sure to tune in this Saturday, again at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, at blogtalkradio.com/The Sharpe Reality. Again, that's blogtalkradio.com/The Sharpe Reality. Make sure you spell Sharpe with an E on the end for my first live podcast. I will also open up the phone lines for questions, comments, haters, and so forth. So this should be a lot of fun. All right, let's get to it. Today's episode is going to be about hooking up with single moms. Not dating them, not marrying them, not committing to them, just fucking them. Because the vast majority of single mothers are terrible significant others. That's nothing new to anyone who has red pill knowledge. Never mind the fact that they think they're God's gift to men on account of our culture, basically just glorifying them as these conquering heroes and pillars of our society that can do no wrong. The idea of raising another man's offspring as his own is the most pathetic thing a man can do in his lifetime, all right? Putting your time and resources into a kid you didn't father is like, it's almost like voluntarily paying child support that wasn't court-ordered, all right? Some douchebag is out there running around doing what he wants, but you're the one stuck raising his kid on your dime. Fuck that, not interested. However, single moms are some of the easiest targets out there because they're always on the lookout for a surrogate father, and it's almost too easy to parlay that into easy sex. I fucked plenty of single moms, especially really in the early stages of my Red Pills transformation, because they were easy to game. But if you don't avoid certain pitfalls, trust me when I tell you things can go sideways in a hurry. And a lot of these traps are set by the chicks themselves. So I'm going to give you guys 4 tips to avoid getting got by the single mother. There's no need to do an episode on how to fuck them because it requires standard game, and there's plenty of material out there on that. The trick with single moms is to get in and out without allowing her to take her pound of flesh. I often compare this to hooking up with married women who are just as easy to fuck. But it's the getting out clean part that trips most men up. So I'm going to give you guys 4 ironclad rules to follow to avoid collateral damage from single mothers. So, number 1, never, ever babysit for any amount of time. Here's the thing, guys. Watching her kids while she's not there opens you up to all kinds of trouble, not the least of which are accusations of abuse. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, well, that's a little extreme, isn't it? And the answer is yes, it is. And that's exactly why I mentioned it. Because here's the thing, guys. When things go sour with single moms, they pull all sorts of crazy stunts, whatever they are. But they pull crazy stunts for 2 reasons. 1, to keep you around. Example, she tells you she's pregnant, all right, which is a go-to favorite of a lot of chicks, single mothers or otherwise. The second reason is to get back at you. Women are fucking bitches when they get dumped, and when they finally understand that it's really over, they start running smear campaigns and telling everybody stuff like, oh, you've got a small dick, that you were abusive toward her, or worst of all, that you hit her kids, or somehow abused them in some way. And because we all know that men are guilty till proven innocent, anytime a woman makes an accusation, you're basically fucked, okay? Kids can be manipulated into saying anything, and if you think for 1 second that, quote, the truth will set you free, think again. It wouldn't even take a convincing statement from a kid to put you behind bars. Anytime you allow her to leave you alone with her kids, you're taking an unnecessary risk, guys. And don't kid yourself. No matter how well you think you know a woman, understand that she'll throw you under the bus with a false accusation and not feel one bit of guilt for doing it. Not one. Now, the other reason you should never babysit for her is because she'll expect you to do it every time she asks. And I'll tell you a quick story. Years ago, a buddy of mine back east was fucking this chick. I think she had like 3 kids or something. And you know, one thing we thought was kind of odd is that he was always babysitting her kids. Like 2, 3, like sometimes like 4 or 5 days a week. Eventually, this dude had to switch to night shift because she took 2 of her kids. She had 3 kids. She took 2 of her kids out of daycare to save money by making him watch them while she was at work. So he was watching her kids all day, didn't have to go to work all night, and squeezing a few hours of sleep here and there. And he was fucking miserable, all right? Now, look, obviously that's an extreme case. But the minute a single mom has it in her mind that she can count on you to watch her kids, she'll expect you to do it all the time. All it takes is once and she's got you. So it's extremely important that you avoid this trap at all costs, no matter what. And I'll give you another quick example. Back when I lived in Vegas, back when I first moved there, I was fucking this chick with like a 6 or 7-year-old girl. Cute as a button, well-mannered. She was actually a pretty good kid. Anyway, we were on our way to drop her kid off, at our cousin's place so that we could, so we can go to this party. And she stops by 7-Eleven. And so she says to me, all right, well, watch her while I run in. I said, no. She said, what? I said, no, I'm not watching your kid. I said, I'll run in and get what you need, but I'm not going to watch your kid. Now, instead of taking the quick and easy route out of a potential argument by letting me just run in for her, she did the typical female thing. She abandoned all reason and got hung up on this shit. So now she's pissed. She's saying, why the fuck won't you just watch her? I'll be 2 minutes tops, blah, 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 blah. I just calmly said, I'm not watching your kid. I'll go in for you, but I'm not watching her. She says, fuck this. She gets out of the car and starts walking toward the entrance. So I get out of the car and start walking away from the car. So she screams across the parking lot. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Where are you going? I said, I'm going home. I am not watching your kid, period. So she stomps over to where I'm standing. She gives me a few bucks and tells me to buy whatever kind of cigarettes or whatever she wanted, I don't remember, and got back in her car. And she never asked me to watch her kid or babysit after that. And I fucked her for a few months after that. Do not babysit her kid under any circumstances, guys. It's a lose-lose situation for you no matter how you slice it. Number 2. And again, I cannot be more clear about this one. The very first time she withholds sex from you for any reason, drop her like a bad habit. The reason for this is simple, guys. She's a single mom, and no matter what she says out loud, she knows that her kids limit her options. Even if she's a 10, she inherently knows that men with options, and let me make that distinction here, men with options or men that she's aroused by will be less likely to stick around because of her kids. Again, she'll never verbally acknowledge it, and to be honest, she might not really admit it to herself so she can sleep at night, but she knows the score, and as a red pill aware male, so should you. She knows that the way to keep you around is to put out when you want to fuck her. And in the beginning, she'll never turn you down. Well, guess what, guys? At some point, she's going to try you. She might think you're not going anywhere, or that you're addicted to her pussy, or that your game has fallen off. Whatever the reason is, she'll think she can withhold sex from you. And when this happens, and trust me, it will, because all women do this, especially single moms, you can handle this one of 2 ways. You can either buy whatever bullshit excuse she's given you, or you can do the right thing and bounce like a bad fucking check. Because again, I cannot be more clear about this. If you allow her to default on her end of the bargain, but you still stick around, it's over. All right, she's got you. She knows she can keep you around without giving you pussy, which means that she's getting the benefit of your companionship and presence without having to work for it. And by work for it, I mean letting you fuck her. Let's not mistake what we're talking about here. There's no reason to be around her if she's not fucking you. And if you let her get away with holding out, she'll put out less and less over time, and eventually she'll start rewarding and punishing you with sex or lack thereof. And it's only a matter of time before she's using you for your company only, meaning no sex, and getting fucked by someone else who doesn't allow her to withhold sex. That someone else needs to be you. All right? She says she's tired? Not my problem. Drop my panties or I drop you. It's as simple as that. She has a headache? Don't care. Bend over. You can take an aspirin when I'm done. She's on her period? Get on your knees and suck me off, and you better swallow. If you're not going to let a 23-year-old without a kid withhold sex from you, letting a 35-year-old get away with it is a fucking joke. Okay? So the very first time a single mom tries this on you, get up and leave. If she stops you from leaving and gives up the booty, she'll never pull that stunt again. If she doesn't stop you, no big deal. You don't have a woman with kids who doesn't put out on your roster anymore. It's a win-win either way. Number 3, do not get close to her children. Guys, this is a 100% absolute no-no, all right? Children of single moms they're yearning for that strong male presence as a natural byproduct of not having their fathers around. So as soon as one like yourself makes an appearance, they latch on very quickly. I mean, of course, this of course depends upon the age and the kid, the circumstance. But when that happens, it can have a profound effect on you. And the reason I know this is because it happened to me. In I think it was episode 4, I talked about a girl who really, really took me for a ride. She cheated on me, got back with her baby daddy. When he got out of jail, I borrowed $1,300 to get her out of jail on drug charges. I mean, this chick really did a number on me. And you can listen to that whole episode on my website, thesharpereality.com, my YouTube channel, or iTunes. Definitely a cautionary tale. Anyway, one element I left out of that whole ordeal was the relationship I had with her daughter. And this kid loved me to pieces. Like, every time I walked in, she gave me a hero's welcome. She'd mimic me. She'd do the things she'd do the things I did, said the things I said. I mean, she really looked up to me. Now, the breakup with, quote, Amy was difficult, but the fact that her kid and I got along made it a little tougher. Now, that particular situation was a little different in that I didn't have a choice to stick around. She left me for the kid's father, so I didn't choose to leave. She left. But a lot of guys out there who are dating single moms stick around longer than they know they should because they have a relationship with their children. Here's the hard truth, guys. Single mothers use their children to keep you around. All right? She'll purposely bring her kids around you to get you acquainted and eventually attached to them. And trust me when I tell you, this is no accident, guys. And while I'm on the subject here, I'll drop a pro tip on you. Single moms only bring their kids around men they want to lock down. If she doesn't let you meet her kids, she either doesn't plan on sticking around or she knows you won't. Now, keep in mind that just because she wants to lock you down doesn't necessarily mean that your game is tight or that she actually likes you, okay? She might see you as a meal ticket. In other words, someone who might help take care of her children, beta bucks. She'll give you enough sex to keep you around, but, if she allows you to develop a relationship with her kids, she's probably trying to lock you down. Now, on the other hand, if your game is tight and you are fucking her right, she'll put you in the player category, which means she'll have fun with you as long as you'll allow her to, but she'll keep her kids away from you at all costs because she wants to spare them any heartbreak that would come with your inevitable departure. She knows you're not going to be around long, so she's not going to let her kids get attached to you. So if you're thinking, hey, she must really like me if she's bringing her kids around, think again. Oh, well, you know what? Actually, she likes you all right as a babysitter and a wallet. Remember this rhyme when dealing with single moms. If her kids are out of sight, your game is tight, all right? Whatever happens, keep your distance when it comes to her kids. The ideal situation is to hook up with a single mom who has a 1 week on, 1 week off custody agreement with the baby daddy, which makes this a lot easier. It gives you a break away from her, and, it allows you to go out and do what you need to do, add chicks to go out and bang other chicks, keep her on the side or do whatever it is that you do in your life. But the 1 week on, 1 week off situation is the ideal situation when dating single mothers. Number 4, last but not least, and this is the most important, do not give her your time and attention unless she has earned it. Now, this goes for every woman you're involved with. This is single moms, cougars, fuck buddies, and so forth. 99% of the women in this country, guys, aren't shit, and they know they're not shit. They'll never admit it out loud, but again, they know the score. Inherently, they know that the more miles they put on their pussies, the less valuable they are. It's just like a used car. Single moms know they're even less valuable than that. Again, their outward egos are confident, and their hamsters are in constant overdrive to help them. You know what? Their hamsters are in overdrive to help them cope with two things. A, they're not worth shit, and B, their prospects they're drastically reduced because of their children. They understand that even the most beta blue pill men won't go near her if she has kids. It is for this reason that you absolutely positively should not give her anything but your cock unless she earns it, guys. Looking good and having a vagina, that gets you my cock. But after the dirty deed's done, I'm out. I'm not sticking around to cuddle. I'm not trying to have a conversation. I'm not doing any of that. But if you want my time and attention, you gotta earn it. And by earn it, I mean be feminine, be kind, stay in great shape. I don't reward women for sex because I can get pussy just about any time I want. It's the other stuff that earns my time and attention. When you give your time and attention to a woman who hasn't earned it, you've told her that your time and attention aren't valuable. You're giving it to her for free, and in her mind, she's saying subconsciously, well, shit, man, this dude has given me all his time and attention, and I haven't done anything but fuck him a few times, just like every other guy I've been with. And here's the thing, if you give a woman something she doesn't have to work for, she's not gonna value or appreciate it. It's like the story of two teenagers who get their first car. One worked their ass off cutting grass all summer to buy a clunker, and the other one gets a BMW from daddy for their Sweet 16 present. The one who busted their ass, they're going to value that junk bucket more than the kid who got the Beamer for simply existing. Women are exactly the same way. They value what they are required to work for, especially a man's attention. And this is something I say all the time. Never deprive a woman of working for your affection, okay? Or never deprive a woman the privilege of working for your affection. Women want to work for your affection because they want to know that it's worth something. If they don't have to work for it, they're not going to value it. If they work for it and earn it validly, then they know, yes, I've worked for something and I've earned it. I'm going to do whatever I can to keep this. This is valuable to me because they worked for it. Single moms, they pass their pussies around just like every other chick, all right? That part's easy for them. To them, it doesn't cost anything because she does this all the time. She's saying to herself, okay, so what if I sucked his dick? I've sucked hundreds of dicks in my life. That's nothing. And if all she has to do is spread your legs to get access to really, three of your four most valuable commodities, you're putting yourself behind the eight ball for a woman who's not even close to worth it. And I don't give a shit what she looks like. And you know what? Let me give you guys a quick bonus tip here before I wrap things up. Single moms will do whatever you want in bed, okay? This goes back to them knowing they have to make up for having kids, so they compensate in the bedroom to offset this disadvantage. They will engage in any debauchery you can dream up to keep you around. Anal sex, she'll swallow your loads. She'll swallow your loads after anal sex. And you guys think I'm kidding. I am not. Single moms are the most degenerate sluts out there as a byproduct of having the biggest disadvantage, aside, of course, from being fat and old, that a woman can have on the dating and hookup market with just children. So if there's something dirty or kinky you've always wanted to try, but, don't want to scare away your girlfriend or your side chick, find a single mom and she'll be more than happy to be your guinea pig. She'll be down for whatever. In the end, guys, most single mothers are terrible significant others. No, I don't give a shit if you can think of a woman whose husband was killed or died. No, I don't give a shit if the husband or baby daddy left a single mom. I don't give a shit if a single mother became a single mother through no fault of her own, because that's the exception to the rule. The vast majority of single moms are single moms by choice. But I treat these 1%ers the way I treat typical single moms. Okay, so your baby daddy or husband was a douchebag, or he died young, or was killed. I'm sorry for your loss, but that's not my problem. Life isn't fair. The reason I do this is because women lie. Women lie about everything. They definitely lie about why they're single mothers, and it's never their fault. They'll never say, I was an irresponsible slut who had unprotected sex with a bunch of dudes, or I had a one-night stand with my boss and he knocked me up. There's always a reason that absolves her from any and all responsibility, and sometimes she'll just make up a story. So I treat them all the same, and so should you. Now, all of that said, there are a fair number of single moms who do have the potential to make decent significant others. These are the ones I talked about earlier. The ones who became single mothers through no fault of their own. Husband died, boyfriend left. Basically, these are the few that didn't become single moms by choice like better than 95% of them do. And again, I just said that I treat all of them the same regardless of the story they tell. But if you practice the game and if you have a good grasp on the true nature of women, it becomes clear fairly quickly whether or not she's a single mom by choice or a single mom through no fault of her own. You'll have to judge them on a case-by-case basis, but after a while, it's fairly easy to tell the difference between one or the other. I'll also say that there are women with children who actually have their act together because of the lessons they've learned. These are the ones that have admitted to themselves that, yes, I do have to work a little harder to snag a high-value male. These are the women who are fit, they're feminine, they cook well, they're good mothers. They understand that they're already starting at a deficit in the dating arena, and rather than sit around and bitch about how unfair it is, they got their shit together and made themselves as attractive as possible. So while it's highly, highly unlikely that you'll ever find a single mom who'll make a half-decent mate, they are out there, however rare they may be. And even if you do, you still have to be all right with raising another man's offspring. We're all different, and and maybe you think differently, than I do, and that's a choice you'll have to make, which obviously depends on the woman and the kid or kids. That concludes this episode of The Sharpe Reality. Again, follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharpe. And if you want to listen to additional episodes, go to thesharpereality.com, iTunes, or my YouTube channel. If you're a Red Pill Sports fan, head over to redpillsports.com and follow us at Red Pill Sports on Twitter. And of course, be sure to tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. noon Central for my first live podcast with special guest Illimitable Man of illimitablemen.com, where we will discuss all things Red Pill and take calls live on the air. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you next time.